and it doesn't pull all the way back in like new ones do. A lot of companies made pinch decanters. These are Fenton freehand candlesticks in antique green with cobalt top, hanging heart. This glass was very expensive when it was new. It's even worse today. And the pieces that were damaged in the manufacture were repaired. And how they repaired them is the workers took them home and turned wood feet out on the lathe so they wouldn't lose them completely. Beautiful, beautiful glass. This is a nice Flying Lady bowl, and it has Clyde King's cutting on it. He was a cutter for Tiffin for a long time, and after the glass plants were closed, he continued to cut on glass. And it's a nice piece. Well done. This is a piece of Lancaster glass. Lancaster was one of the better quality depression companies in Lancaster, Ohio. Who made? It's Cambridge. It's the one of the Steins without the handle applied to it. That's what it is. Yeah, it's Cambridge. Well, blue. And who made this? This is a Cambridge, the bottom of a powder or puff box in one of the blues. And my educated guess is this is blue 2, which is maybe Aurora, or it may be Eleanor, or it may be Ritz, or anyway, for years we called this blue 2, so I'm sticking with it. Has a gray cutting on it, not a Cambridge cutting. Not a Cambridge cutting. Very, very hard to find. The hardest of the transparent colors in golf scene to find. Decagon ice bucket. And if you look at it real close, it has the Cambridge Country Club building right in here. It's pretty cool. It will be signed. Yeah. It will be signed. This is a 3500 line Carmen goblet with beautiful silk screen on it. This is in the Decorates book. Cambridge did do it, yes. This is sort of a tavern scene. I call it Simple Simon. It just makes me think of the Simple Simon pictures. But it's a beautiful, beautiful sterling on ebony bulge. Boy, this is nice. This one has a silver plate stopper instead of that red Bakelite stopper. This is cool. Minerva etched on the square decanter. Cork type fitting. Somebody really took care of this top. Wow. That's nice. Not that I know of. I think this mold may predate Rose Point. Minerva ball top tumbler. Very unusual. Very, very unusual. Emerald. They chose selected pieces in emerald and mandarin gold to make a caprice. This is the jelly dish. And it has a spoon in it that says Cambridge, Ohio. Beautiful Art Nouveau spoon with a lady on it. It says Cambridge, but it's dated 1904 on the back. This is a Carmen Ivy vase with just a hint of the Caprice optic in it. It's actually a ball vase and hasn't been cut off. Sort of. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Sunset tumbler with horses, sand carved on it. Not Cambridge decoration, but very interesting. Very, very interesting. Pistachio crackle, statuesque nude goblet. Crystal prism sign, done in gold. A slight tinge of lavender to it. This is a Cambridge tumbler with a sample etching on it of, I guess, a fisherman with a fish hanging up. Real modern looking. Very modern looking. This is an ebon cigarette box with gold talisman rose on it. They did play with talisman rose. I've seen talisman rose on quite a few things. This has an ashtray lid underneath. You'll see in the museum 3 other sample gold silk screens on boxes. Canopy sets in tomato. Kind of unusual to see this style tumbler on a canopy. These are the juice tumblers. And this is the oranges, like Les talked about last night. They're not flying. This was made for a man. This is called a Weiss beer glass. And Weiss was an old glass maker that this form carried his name forever. And this was made for a 50th birthday party for a man named George, and they left one medallion off of it and put the G in there. Great piece. Special order. Dalton jug in amethyst. These originally carried a Farber Duchess lace frame. These were made for Farber in amethyst, royal blue, amber, and forest green. Also the companion whiskey sets, all jug whiskeys. This is an emerald green keyhole vase with Elaine etching on it. These were stolen out of the plant. They were to be filled in with gold, and I know the people that stole them. They stole Wildflower, Rose Point, and Elaine on color, and this should have gone on to gold decorating and been filled in. And you will notice the etching is rather clear looking, and that was a different etching compound they used for gold incrustation. Bitters bottle in Caprice, real hard to find. Real hard to find. Now, these oranges are flying. I don't even remember where you got this, Richie, at the hardware store. Yep. Sandy Jenkins. Is that her name? Yeah. Royal Blue Rooster Muddler. These are really, really tough. Heather Bloom. The early style where the handle does not connect to the neck, and these break real easily. They changed that so this handle connects to the neck. It's a little more sturdy. In Gloria, and perfume bottle, wonderful. In Heather Bloom, this probably does not belong in this frame. These were made in amber crystal and gold crystal in the frames, but it's a fabulous piece, doesn't matter. Lady in the Bubbles cigarette box. She is flying, isn't she? Typical Cambridge lid doesn't fit good. Just typical Cambridge. This is the earlier style of this where there is not a flange on the bottom of the lid to fit into the box. It's a sunk in flange that fits over the box. And this has a reverse etched of the hunt scene. This is probably the decorate plate that Les showed you last night with the multiple colors on it. Crystal Dalton jug, royal blue handle, copper wheel engraving around the bottom, a pretty silver pattern of baskets. Nice. That's nice. White rain. White rain footed tumblers or iced teas. They made blue cloud, white rain, and it had 2 different names. One was called strawberry and one was called red fire. There's only a couple pieces of it now. This is a invoice 2018 for the cost of $22 for the glasses. and $1.56 tax. Pretty good. They're beautiful. This stuff varies a lot. These have really nice white spots in them. The majority of the blue cloud and the white rain were sold in the Michigan, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska area. We don't know why. Whether there was a salesman there that did better with them or something, but that's where most of them were sold. Pretty amethyst japonica urn vase. No signature. Like Les said last night, they did rename this Hawthorne. There are parrot candlesticks in the museum with Hawthorne tags on the bottom of them. Heather bloom, there are two formulas. If you look in the museum, you will see one shelf is a bluey color, and the other shelf is a pinky color to heather bloom. This is an iced tea in 3111 and Rosalie Edge. This guy is one of the larger of the Marjorie tumblers. It is sun colored, unfortunately, but it's still pretty. It holds 24 ounces. I told Marjorie it could be a vase. Carmen, golden crusted rose point, 3500 iced tea. Beautiful. This is just spectacular. This is the square vase in willow blue with dragon etch on it. It's the only piece of blue I've seen with dragon on it. Great. This is a machine-made goblet, and I cannot tell you who made it, but you see a lot of it in Ohio. It has a safety rim that the machine makes, an anti-chipping device. Libby, really? Really? Boy, I wouldn't have guessed that. It's very low quality. Is it? Okay. Yeah, it's got a definite safety rim to it. These are Indiana glass. They do come with a Beaubouchon prism sometimes, and I've also seen them set up as electric lamps. Ellie Smith, squirrel. Ellie Smith made 12 little animals, including a cow. Some of the animals have a C and a circle mark on them. This is a pretty Morgantown ship's decanter. The stopper is very reminiscent of the Cambridge stopper, but it has a shorter neck on it. Somebody copied somebody. This is a real pretty Tahoe blue looking cocktail. This is Bryce glass. They made these in multiple colors like Cambridge did. Very, very rare. Rose Point salt shaker. These are normally in Diane or an older pattern. It has the beginnings of a 3400 corners on the bottom of it. Hard to find. 3400 all salt and pepper with very interesting lids. Wow. Those are cool. They look like sterling. I'm sure they are. Just makes them look completely different. This is that strange, we don't know exactly cross between pristine 3400 and 3900 individual sugar and creamer. These are also known in full size. They have the foot off of 3500. They have the darts from 3400. They have the scalp and the point from 3900, and they have the S handle from pristine. We're not sure what they were doing. They're quite rare, regardless. They are shown on the 3900 tray, which you can see this S handle thing is almost identical. The handle. Whatever they are, they're quite rare. This is a candlestick that I have never seen before. It's like the old candlestick. My immediate reaction is the candle cup's being ground off it. You can see grinding marks all the way around here. I don't think it's complete the way it is. Yes. Well, there's this guy, you mean? Well, these were made with a higher candle cup in the center. And if you get to looking at the middle candle cup, this bump sticking up here is in the inside of that candle cup. Yeah, that's what it is. And I can see the polishing where they polished it all off there. Yeah, I'm positive that's what it is. This is a rare shape blown finger bowl in Rose Point. Can't make head or tail out of why Cambridge put certain finger bowl shapes with certain lines. But it is very hard to find, and that's the original under tray. Has an optic in it, which is sort of interesting because the bowl doesn't have an optic in it. What? It is. It is. This is a beautiful, beautiful vase. It says something on it. Etling, Etling, in raised letters on it. I don't know. Does anybody know? Has that real French appearance. Very, very French. It says Etling on the bottom. I do not know. Beautiful cut candlelight. There are 3 versions of cut candlelight. The first one was designed for Martha A.J. Bennett's wife's birthday. The second was designed for Herschel Hancock's granddaughter's wedding. And the third was designed by the LaFleur Glass Company for people that were taking Cambridge out there and having candlelight cutting on to fool people. And Eddie Griffith, who owned LaFleur, fooled those people and cut a different candlelight on them. And there is a Martha Punch set with cut candlelight on it that isn't Cambridge cut. This is the Morgantown Tumble Up. This is a sort of a 1066 look-alike, but there are many differences: the size of the ball, the shape of the glass. I don't know who made it. This is a insert Rose Point vase. It was a special order. It was made for a silver company, and they cut these little punties here, and that was to make the plaster inside the silver adhere to it. Rather unusual. An Elaine sugar shaker, quite rare. These sugar shakers tend to be colored glass, and if they're etched, they're usually a Diane, Apple Blossom, or Gloria. This glass lid was discontinued, and they continued it with a metal lid because so many of these broke. I haven't a clue in the world. Does anybody? An interesting 6-sided tumbler with flowers on it. I have no idea. Sorry. Pretty 3121 goblet with sunflower cut on it. This is a Cambridge cutting. Wonderful. Here is the relish tray that you hardly ever see that has no divisions. It comes with or without the feet. This has the feet. And this is Adonis cutting around the edge, and then a very interesting cutting in the bottom of it. Different. This lid, unfortunately, does not belong in this bottom. This is the twin salad dressing. Would have had an underliner. And this is the lid for the pretzel jar, or cracker jar. Right? No. This one's too big. Okay. So, right, there is a tally-ho covered candy, but it will not be divided. This is very nice overnight set. Who made it? I do not know. It's very reminiscent of the Cambridge one, but the bottom's completely different. And It's not exactly Cambridge's light emerald either, unfortunately. I don't know. You know, these glass companies copy each other like crazy. Standard. Here's the divided version, done in gold Elaine, which they didn't etch in the bottom. I don't know why. It's very pretty. Crown Tuscan 3-part candy with a really interesting brass filigree mounting on it. It's real interesting. Usually you see this kind of mounting on apple blossom in gold crystal generally. Okay. 2 shades of amethyst. 2 shades of amethyst. You are exactly right. One of them is not mulberry. Quality control issues on colors, but they are both amethyst. Okay. Cambridge color. Blue 1, blue 2. This one's probably going to be Aurora. And this one, I don't know. This is the one that fluoresces, like Vaseline glass when you put it under a black light. Pretty rolled honeycomb Rubina compote. A companion with scalloped edge and went opaque. This comes from overfiring. It's a mistake. It's an accident. It's worth more money. I call it opaque Rubina for lack of knowing. It's much harder to find. Beautiful oval bowl in light emerald. See the difference in the color? Light emerald with very nice silver, and also engraving. Engraving on the outside, silver on the inside. This is just gorgeous. It's a bluebell 7-inch 3-part covered candy. Beautiful sterling on it. This is not white gold. This is a Cambridge etch that some silver company has worked on. Man, is that pretty. This is a Martha Washington picture by Summit. It's a reproduction. They made them in cobalt and Vaseline, colors that they did not make Martha Washington in Vaseline. Or pink. He made it pink too. And my understanding is there were 8 of those made in his Rubina. I don't know. Where's Frank? Hello, Frank? Did you look at it? I didn't think it was, but it isn't like the Cambridge one I've seen, unfortunately. The Cambridge ones do come in color. It's a string holder. I'm sorry. It has a threaded lid underneath. You put the ball string in, thread the lid back on, and you pull the string through this hole that's ground. They're usually ground off not very nice. But this was a utility item, you know. So, very unusual syrup. Should have a lid. I would say the lid probably is not etched in Marjorie. And the same syrup with the correct underliner. A real interesting non-Cambridge gold and blue decoration. The blue's on the inside, gold's on the outside. I'm really jealous. I like this. Little wheat sheaf, jelly compote or child's punch bowl and marigold carnival. Nice piece. That's nice piece. Amethyst, salad fork and spoon. They are Cambridge. They're nice. Very nice. This is an interesting blown tumbler with the early silkscreen type etching on it of the bicycle girl and boy. Probably what Cambridge copied for their etching plate. And then there's an angel and a medallion in between. It's quite old. This is the old emerald or forest green turtle. Probably old emerald because this is out of the 20s. It is the flat one. The original style was flat. Later style is domed, and it's in really good shape. You little nick. Wow. This, I'm floored. I have no idea. Okay. There's no reason why not. I mean, it's this ashtray applied to a nude, and maybe they thought it was top heavy, which it is pretty top heavy, and then they decided to apply the smaller ashtray to it. I've never seen one before. It's quite rare. As is this rose point ashtray and this rose point cigarette box. These are real hard to find. They really are. This is a standard lid that goes on the nude and the flat cigarette box. That's on the foot of it. These are great. We've got 5 1338 candlesticks. And my understanding is, are they in order? Oh, goody. Goody. Started out Mount Vernon with an open work area here. And then a regular, what we call caprice style, still with the open work here. And then the open work is gone. And this was probably due to that was too hard to get out of the mold. Yeah, it has round. Yeah, this is the oval ball here in the middle. And then, very strangely, filled in with a real rounded ball. I don't think this one lasted very long. I think they went to this regular round ball, and this is the one that lasted longer. Some of these are extremely flat on the bottom and highly polished before they're etched. This one is not. This one came out of the mold real nice, so they didn't have to polish it so much on the bottom. And there was no reason why not, because they had their own mold shop, and those men didn't do piecework. They were on salary, so it was no big deal to send the mold back to the mold shop and say, we're having trouble with this. It won't come out of the mold good. It's shrinking too much. It's cracked. It's got too many annealing lines in it. Let's change this. And that's probably what happened with this. There are some other things in Cambridge that the same thing happened to, and they did retool a lot of molds. A lot of the 3500 molds were retooled into 3900 molds. Virginian was retooled into Lynn. So they did a lot of this. They saved metal by retooling molds, different shapes, different techniques, different patterns. That was typical Cambridge trick. Any questions? Any questions, anybody? If you have to pick it up when you come up, please be careful. It's somebody else's treasure. So, yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
On the blue cream and sugar, does the lid belong on the sugar?
The lid does belong on the sugar. It doesn't fit very good. No Cambridge lids fit good. It was sold with or without the lid, and the lid is very, very hard to find. We've not seen, interestingly enough, this sugar and paper tends to be azurite or avocado, Pomona green. And I've not seen an opaque one with a lid. But I have seen light emerald, amber, peach glow. I've even seen a topaz set with a lid. So it seemed like the lids were transparent and the opaques didn't carry any lids. But it was shown either way in the book. And the lid's the good part. Yeah. I'm sorry. Decagon, very unusual enamel. Very, I don't know if, I think it's a Cambridge enamel, to be honest with you. Is it in the book? Is it? It's signed. Certainly incredibly interesting enamel. Done the way Les described last night, reverse process. And it's half white enamel and half black enamel. And then frosted. Really neat. And what makes it real interesting looking is it looks like it was enameled and then frosted. So the enameling's kind of dull. The white's kind of dull. It isn't shiny. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Anything else I missed? Oh, I'm sorry. This is my birthday present from Richie. So I didn't bother to talk about this. Interesting story about this. This is Lotus's sweetheart decoration. It is a horse and rider. It looks a lot like a girl to me, jumping over a fence in a heart. And Lotus did this on several companies' glass. My mom and I went to an auction we heard about way beyond Pittsburgh. And we got there, and there was 80 pieces of this on red on a table. And there was 2 1066 goblets, and all the rest of it was not Cambridge. And I just bid my heart out to the point where the goblets were so ridiculous, I gave up. And Mom said, go talk to that lady that bought it, see what she was up to. Well, she was a dealer, and she was going to piecemeal it, so much a piece. And I said, well, how much are those 2 goblets? She said, well, they're $25 a piece. Because I was having to pay like $20 a piece times 80 to get 2 goblets, Cambridge goblets. So anyway, I sell one to Richie. And then in the flood, the other one was smashed in a million pieces. So I still don't have a piece of those. But this is one. That's what I said. Come on. This is a very, very hard piece to find. This is the 3400 patent cocktail shaker with a crown stopper, which you twist like this and shake, and then you twist it like that and pour. And it's a hard, the stopper's really, really hard to find. And of course, the decoration's fabulous. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anything else? Anybody? Yes.
Lynn, right there in front, the Carmen ball that has some of the Caprice hint in there. What was going on when they made that?
I am convinced that some worker pulled out the wrong optic spot mold. There are other things like this that have happened, and I just think they pulled out the wrong spot mold. I don't think this was production. I don't think this was production. I know of 2 ball vases and 1 ivy ball. That you got to really use your imagination. I mean, it's definitely there, but sitting on the table, it will not show. I've seen a cobalt blue one too, and there are other things in Cambridge that wind up with an optic that shouldn't have been in them. So, they pull a spot mold and real quickly and gather the glass in a spot mold, and then they expand it into a blown mold and shade. And the wrong optic has wound up in things several times. So, nevertheless, it's Caprice. I mean, any way you look at it, and it's rare. Yep. Anybody? Thank you all for coming. Thank you for bringing nice glass.